What's happening, everybody? It's Stalley, BCG330, and you tuned in to Day One Radio. Always holding it down with my Day Ones. Yeah.
The business.
Another episode, another installment of Day One Radio, right here on ablradio.com. That's Art Beats and Lyrics Radio to be exact. Make sure you download the very free, very accessible smartphone app for your iPhone and your Android devices. And also make sure you check out day1radio.com to hear the whole archive of this show, and check us out on the iTunes podcast as well. My name is Maurice Garland. I'm one of your gracious co-hosts, and across from me I have...
You almost said to my left.
Yeah.
Hey! At MadFreshDaily, MadFreshDaily.com, Nadine Graham to my left.
The world famous BP, Brandon LSK. What's happening, everybody?
Chinna, man. Rainy weather in the A, man, but we do have a special guest in the building, man.
What does the special guest got to do with the weather, though?
I mean, damn. All right, Mr. Stickler today.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Some more reasons.
I was trying to infer that the man might have brought some good sunshine.
Are you saying he brought the bad weather? Is that what you're saying?
No, man.
Nah, not at all. Nah, we just messing with you. But yo, in the building we have Stalley, man, straight out of Ohio.
Yes.
One of the I would say the underrated spitters out here.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. I don't think people really understand a lot of times that you've been coming with consistent work for at least the last 5 years. So,
correct.
Yeah, definitely. He said, I concur.
Yeah, correct.
Before we move on, man, tell everybody what city in Ohio you're from, man.
Oh, man, I'm from Massillon, Ohio. It's about 45 minutes from Cleveland. It's next to Canton, where the Football Hall of Fame is at. Small town, 32,000 people.
All right, I was asking that to remind. I was asking everybody, so you can remind everybody else, because you reminded me of that shit like years ago at A3C. I was hosting the all hip hop stage, and I was like, straight out of Cleveland, Ohio. Here's Stalley, ladies and gentlemen. Like, nah, bro, I ain't from there, man.
It's for real, man.
I had to. Man.
I understand.
You know, it's important for me to put on Ohio, not only Ohio but Massillon, because we are, like, you guys probably never heard of it, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people haven't. So, that's where I'm from. That's where I'm born and bred. That's where I got, everything that comes with me, from my style to, the stories I speak on music and whatever. So it's important that I give that voice, to the city and give it back on a worldwide stage. So it's nothing against anywhere else in Ohio or Cleveland, because that's like a second home as well. But it's important for me to, shed that light and kind of give Massillon, a nod.
I feel, because I'm the same way about Decatur, Georgia. That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
I claim the A all day, but sometimes the A can do some weird shit.
You don't want to be
I'm from Decatur.
I'm from Decatur.
We don't do that.
Yeah. I don't know what they doing, but in Decatur, we don't do that. That's how I feel about Massillon. Even though we weird there, so I can't.
So what is it like, man? I've not, literally, I think Cincinnati is the only town I've ever been to in Ohio.
Wow.
So that's one of the few places I've never traveled to. So when I found out you were Massillon or from Massillon, I'm just curious. Obviously we know through basketball you made it to New York and all of that. But what was it like growing up there, man?
Man, in Ohio, it's Massillon is like, it's a deep rooted place. A lot of our parents and grandparents come from the South, from Atlanta and Mississippi and places like that. So, it's got a lot of Southern roots, but also it's very family oriented. It's very community, togetherness when it comes to just the pride that they have in being from Massillon. Sports, obviously, high school sports is a big thing, basketball and football. And, it's traditional when it comes to that. And it's also, one of those places where there's a lot of mom and pop restaurants and stores and just different things like that. It's really been built from us, from the people that's still there, or somebody's parents or grandparents or their great grandparents, So I think we take a little bit of pride in being that. But on the flip end, it's everywhere else. It's drug dealing. It's dudes on drugs. It's all that stuff too. So I try to bring the better light and try to tell those stories, but in a way that it's kind of not glorifying it, but in a way it's just like that's where I come from as well.
It's crazy you said it, because a lot of folks, they just assume that the bad things in life, like drugs and all this stuff, just like skips over certain places. Like, you're like, no, they skipped there and went to Detroit.
Oh, no. Yeah,
they skipped there and went to Memphis.
Right. Nah, it's there. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? And it's it's probably and that's the funny thing, because those small towns, like, we probably got dudes who made millions off of dope, just like New York or Detroit or Cleveland or whatever. So it's just different how they spend it or how they flaunt it. But a lot of people get money out there.
Right, definitely. It's funny that you were talking about the high school thing. I was looking at your Instagram recently, and I saw you posted the Tiger, and people was really talking crazy.
Yeah,
I guess it was like rival high schools.
Yeah,
was like talking wild.
And something was so crazy about that. I'm glad you mentioned that, because like this is how crazy Ohio is, and this is how crazy it is with the sports. Like our rivalry is Canton McKinley, the Bulldogs. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a little history. Massillon, where I'm from, and Canton McKinley, the first two professional football teams ever. That's why the Pro Football Hall of Fame is in Canton, because they were and now they're high schools. So the rivalry is over 150 years strong. You know what I'm saying? Paul Brown, the great coach, is from Massillon, played at Massillon, coached at Massillon. Then, of course, he went on to coach with the Browns and the Bengals and things like that. But the tradition and the rivalry is so strong. Like, dudes in Canton won't like my music or listen to my music because I'm from Massillon. That's how crazy it is. Like, there's probably dudes that live 8 minutes away from me that never listen to my music just because he a Massillon nigga, fuck him. Like, that's how they really think.
Did you play sports at
I
that
played
point?
Basketball, but I'd never played football, but football is the real, like, that's the real deal. It's the real clash of the Titans. But basketball is the same. Like, every time we play them, no matter the records, it's going to be a hard-fought game. It's going to be everybody's coming out. We have to add extra bleachers to the game. It's the only in football. It's the only high school game you can bet on in Vegas. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And what else? Yeah, pretty much.
It's
that's
one
it.
of those
and it's on on TV, like, throughout the state. It's not national, but that's the only game. They broadcast that throughout the state too.
Now, football's serious in Canton, because I actually went to Canton for the first time a couple months ago and went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah,
and like going up there, I was wondering, like, why is it here though? And you know what I'm saying? I was like, why is it here? And then, like, as soon as you walk in, they got a big ass paragraph on the wall, like, this is why it's here.
Yeah, we gonna remind you and let you know. Yeah, and they building a big campus and stuff. So I mean, it's cool. It's good. Yeah, I think they trying to bring the draft there in the next couple years, because it's kind of like that thing where you start your career here, you hope to end your career here. So
and people would appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's the only thing that we really have. You know what I mean? So it's awesome that we do have something like that to be proud of.
Right, most definitely. So I mean, I guess Nadine brought it up. We can talk a little bit about your high school career. Point guard, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
About
1-2.
1-2. All right, for sure.
Like Curry.
Before we got on the air, he was talking about this Warriors championship hat I have up, but we'll get to that later.
There they go.
But
I'm asleep.
But yeah, man. So growing up, there where I'm sure football, like you said, football is king. But why'd you decide to hoop? Why did you go in that direction?
You want the real story?
Yeah.
I ain't want to get hit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's what it means.
Nah, exactly. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I played football all the way up until my going into my sophomore year. And I used to play basketball, obviously, and I went and played AAU, and I would play summer tournaments. And I came back, and I went to go. I think they were on tour-a-days. I went to go to a practice, and I'm just looking around, and I'm like, man, these dudes got huge. Like, I'm talking about over the summer, they got so big. Pause. But the guys, they got, like, they just, creatined out. You know what I'm saying? Just packed on muscle. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and stick in the gym, because these dudes are, like, literally, and some of my good friends, my best friend, like Ellery, shout out him, but he, like, I'm talking about he probably went from 250 to like 300 over. You know what I'm saying? And these guys, and they're big, like 6'3", 6'4", and it's just like my high school is one of those high schools where the kids are, farm, big country,
right?
So and I always was skinny. Probably, especially back then, I was about 155. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't do it.
Nah, I feel that. So, man, you, as the story goes, and you told it a couple times, you ended up getting a scholarship to University of Michigan. Now, I know, like, it happens every now and again, like with Charles Woodson and all that. Yeah. But I don't know what being. I'm sure you were devout Ohio State dude.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I didn't go there. And I ended up going to Long Island University in Brooklyn. Shout out to Blackbirds, but because it's just like it's something that you just can't. I mean, some people can, like you said. There's a set. Like we had a kid who went there. His name's Sean Crable. He was a 3-time captain and Letterman. I think he started off 4 years, but he was a 3-year captain there. And he went to my high school. But some people, they have different reasons why they want to go there. Sometimes it's because everybody they know is going to Ohio State, or they want to do something different, or they might want to compete against the people that they've been competing against their whole high school career instead of being teammates with them, stuff like that. So me, I couldn't, really gather up I couldn't do it. And not nothing against, Michigan, but it's different. Those guys is different up there. They got so it's like I knew I couldn't really be there with them.
You feel about them how the dudes from Canton feel about you.
Exactly.
That was a backhand compliment with mittens on.
Right.
Shout out to mittens.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's like I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know what to compare, but I guess it's like either you go to as Alabama or Auburn or something like that. You know what I mean? I couldn't do it.
So. Obviously, you being your age, you were there around the time, probably, 2-3 years? Your senior year was probably Brian's, freshman year?
Yes, exactly, yep.
Okay, so how early did you hear about that deal? Was he like 6 years old, crossing dudes over in the gym?
You know what?
At 6 feet tall and already.
Right. No, you heard, talk about him because, Canton is so close to us.
Yeah.
So you heard talk, but I didn't really catch wind of him until that freshman year. We played them up at St. V's, and my coach, my coach always used to get us up by telling us stories about players or just the matchups that we would have, and he was talking about LeBron. And he was saying that, he was just talking about him, like, giving him the ultimate, like, compliments. And we were like, what? You know what I mean? This can't be. Like, he's only 14, a freshman.
Right.
And my coach was like, Bob Huggins said that if he could take LeBron right now as a freshman in high school, he would start on the Cincinnati Bearcats. Now, mind you, this is when Cincinnati was number one in the country. Yeah. They had Kenyon Martin, Steve Logan, all those
DeMar
guys.
Johnson.
Yeah, DeMar. That they was number one. I think Kenny Satterfield might have been on that team too. But he said that LeBron would start as a freshman on that team. So I'm like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you're just trying to get us, hyped. You know what I mean? And then, sure enough, we got on the court and he went stupid. He went crazy as a freshman. Had like 21, I think, dunking on. He was doing. He did us dirty.
And playing varsity in any sport, there's nothing more demoralizing than having a freshman come out and put in work.
Like, no, seriously, it was like, but we couldn't do nothing. Like, he was special, and I mean, he still is, as you know. But he was just definitely. But even back then, he wasn't as strong and as big, but mentally he was just strong and smart, and you just know he had a knack. Like, it's just a God-given talent, like he didn't have to really, he had to work, but he didn't have to work too hard to have his natural ability that he has. So you just knew playing against him that he was going to be something.
Do you still play? Like, just recreationally?
Sometimes, I don't get a lot of time to do it. I would love to play more often, but I don't get a lot of free time. So, but I'm trying to, make sure I start putting that time in every week just to get in the gym at least. But because I'm not a gym rat, like, again, I'm not somebody who's gonna go lift weights. I'd rather just go and work out and shoot some jumpers or do some drills, something like that.
Okay.
Now, was it a culture shock when you wound up in New York from leaving Ohio, man?
Man, it was, but it wasn't, because I felt like it was just, I always felt like home with New York. Like I always felt connected to New York, just even as a child. And I went there a couple times as a kid to visit family, but it was just something that natural. Like soon as when I got there, it was like I hit the ground running. Like it was just something that was in me. I was hopping on and off the trains. I was walking around like I did, and a lot of that came with just me being there and being by myself and not knowing anyone. I wanted to move like I knew what I was doing. Especially because you hear all these things when about New York, and New York was still real back then. I mean, not that it isn't now, but it was really real back then. Yeah,
it's different.
But back then it was like still get robbed and
you
jacked,
don't want to look like you don't know what train to get on.
Like they go on be like, oh yeah, come over here, like what I'm saying. Like, it was still like that, but man, New York is like home to me now. It's the second home. I was there for 15 years. You know what I'm saying, like. I was there when the Twin Towers fell, all that. So it's just like I love it. And Brooklyn is like somewhere that I went because I went to LIU, which is downtown Brooklyn, right across from Junior's. You know what I mean? And that whole time I was just in that area. You know what I'm saying? The Fort Greene, Clinton Hills, Dumbo, all that up Flatbush. So that's all home,
Now you got the real New York experience. You ain't get the like, oh, I'm gonna come here and chase my dreams.
I went from a college kid, trying to play ball, thinking I was gonna make it to the NBA or go overseas, to getting hurt and not really being able to live that dream and even getting to play, at that level. So I never really got a chance to see how far I could take it or what I could actually do due to getting injured and stuff. So that hurt me. I went through a depressed time.
I was gonna say, like mentally, how did you handle that?
Man, it was hard. Like honestly, it was really hard. I used to call back to my mom, and she would just be like, "Man, just tighten up." Man up. She was hard. She was like, stop feeling bad for yourself. Like, just do what you got to do, But you got to think when you're a kid and you like 6 years old and all you know is sports and basketball, especially that's how you see people moving out of our little town is really through sports. You don't see them doing anything else. It's not like people are becoming, doctors and lawyers or anything like that. It's really sports was getting us out the hood. So I'm like, man, I'm going to end up being back in the hood. I'm going to be smoking crack, you think the worst, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. You think the worst. You're like, oh man, I'm gonna be the worst, right? So, but on a serious note, on a serious note, it was very depressing and it was hard, you know what I mean? But I got through it. I was homeless at the time, in New York, but I did all of that just to stay there because I knew no matter the hard times I was going through there, it was better than going back home. You know what I mean? And I love home, but I just knew it was more opportunity and more exactly because I seen so many people leave and come back, and even athletes. I had cousins that went to play D1 football and come back because they got a girl pregnant and then never went back and just was like, oh well, forget that, I got to be a father. And it's like, yeah, you do, but now it's like, what are you really doing to help your children? You know what I'm saying?
Whatever happened to.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I didn't want to do. And, I went through a lot of hard times.
What role did hip-hop play in getting you out of that funk, getting you out of that depression?
Man, everything. Hip-hop is life, you know what I mean? It just, it's motivation, it's inspiration, it's like I remember listening to Nas's it was on Stillmatic. I'm drawing a blank, but the song when he's like the smoke cleared, I'm on my king's throne, my destiny found me, it was clear why the struggle was so painful, metamorphosis, this is what I changed to, and God, I'm so thankful. Oh, you're the man. I was listening to that one time and I almost like came to tears from those lyrics right there, because it was like the smoke cleared, like you just feel like now I understand why God put me through this, or why these struggles were so, real, and why I stuck it out, you know what I mean? Because now it's just clear as day that this is the reason, and you can't answer that question sometimes on why you go through things or what's putting you through these things, but you just got to keep fighting. And music, it helped me through a lot. Whenever I get frustrated or down, it's just like you put something on and it lifts your spirits.
Like, was you making music before you went to New York, or was that something that started when you got there?
That's something that started, after, because like I said, my focus was sports. Like I really thought, basketball was going to be something to help me, make a better, living for my family. So that's really what I was focusing on. But I always wrote as a kid. I remember in 8th grade, me and two of my homies used to pass around a notebook and just write raps in it. And then every period we would give it to each other and we would add on to each other's raps, or I started this and it wasn't over beats or nothing. It was just us writing kind of like a journal, of raps. And so I always did that, always wrote little poems and things like that. But as far as taking it serious, getting into the studio and recording, that didn't happen until after I realized, okay, I'm here. Let's this is, and again, it was something that came natural and something that was given. It wasn't like, oh, I ain't got nothing else to do, let's rap. No, it was like something that I loved and something that was meant to happen. And I always like to figure out life that way. Like, I don't like to force anything. I want everything to come natural. And music fell into my lap and came into, or came to life naturally.
Like, what was the early process like, though? I mean, was it a thing where it's like, I'm rapping and I'm going to look in the yellow pages for a studio today, and, here's my $57.
The yellow page. He didn't move to New York in the 70s. He wasn't using the yellow page.
Right. Yeah. No, how it came about is, it's funny. Like I said, it's weird how things happen, but I used to skateboard a little bit, and I was skating with these Japanese kids. They had this store called Prohibit. This kid named Kensei. You remember Prohibit? Yeah. So Kensei, my homie Kensei was managing and kind of, he was from Japan. They flew him over there to basically handle the store. And I got with him, and there was a whole bunch of kids. They was going to NYU and Hunter College and different things like that, but they were all from Japan. Most of them couldn't really speak English that well. So I used to skate with them. We would hang out. We would go skateboard, and then as we would skateboard, we would catch freestyles like on some real New York shit, like freestyle at Union Square Park or whatever, Washington Square, whatever. We was just rapping, and they was like, "Yo, you nice, like you should go." And my dude Kensei used to make beats. He had like a little, real hip hop Premiere-ish type of sound. You know what I mean? Japanese people, they emulate everything, and they do it good. So I was like, this dude was nice. You know what I'm saying? So I started rapping over his beats, and then I was like, you know what? And they talked me into doing the EP, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it. So I did an EP, and then the same day I got the EP, I go back to Prohibit. I'm hyped, like, yo, it's done, it's mixed, like, let's listen to it. So we put it in the store. They playing it through the store. Mos Def walk in. Mos Def walk in, and he's shopping, looking around. He say what's up to everybody. Then he stopped, and he like, who's that? And then he's like, they was like, who's that playing? And then my homie Kensei was like, that's him. Then Mos looked at me, was like, that's you? And I was like, yeah. He was like, all right. So he keep walking through, he looking, shopping some more. Another song come on. He stopped, he said, that's you? I was like, yeah. Then he was like, this is dope, man. And then he was like, what you trying to do? And I was like, man, I just got this like an hour ago. I was like, I really just did this for the homies.
Wait,
like,
this is when he was Black Star Mos Def?
Yeah. This was like, I think he had just did the movie with Bruce Willis.
Oh, Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Oh, the Spike Lee joint. Wasn't it?
The 16 Blocks.
16
I
Blocks.
think it was around that time. Like, so he had, but this was, this wasn't black. So this was like black on both sides. Most
oh, okay, gotcha.
Not Black Star. Yeah, this was black on both sides most. So he was just like, yeah. And I was like I said, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I just, did this. I was like, I was hoping you could give me some advice on what to do. Like while we had it. Yeah, exactly. So he was like, boom, check this out. He wrote down his number, his email. He wrote down his manager's email and number and was like, yo, hit me up. We going to sit and build. I'm in the city, da-da-da-da. So I was like, cool. And I'm thinking like, I don't know if I'm going to really be able to reach out to him,
Right.
But anyway, then he leaves. Or maybe it was before he left. But some way before he left, he asked me, can he get the CD? He's like, you got a copy of this? I was like, man, this is my only copy.
Right.
Like, I literally just got this like an hour ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then I was like, you know what? I looked at Kensei, and Kensei was like, And I was like, man, you can have it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then he took it. They had a security guard because, you know, back then, again, you know, it was kind of... So they had a security guard because they were selling like Evisos and Red Monkey jeans in there.
Which was the shit.
Yeah, exactly. That was, so they had a security guard. The security guard was the homie too. And he was like, yo, he came... When Most left, he came back and was like, yo, Most just popped in your CD and they drove off playing it. And I was like, that's dope. And then, you know, from there, I hit him up and we kind of kept in contact and just did, you know, moved around and did some things together. And then I lost contact with him and I kept doing my thing. And then I bumped into him again at DD 172, which was the space that Dame Dash had, you know, a few years ago. And it was just like we never, you know, we picked up right there, just kicking it. But he's a big inspiration and a big reason why I continue to do the music, because when I did that, and being that was the first time that I let somebody hear my music and he gave me those compliments and left with the CD, I was just like, man, I must have something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
then I just had to give you crazy confidence.
It did. And I just kept on going from there. And then, you know, I went through some rough patches still, but I thugged it out, worked, you know, I was couch surfing and homeless for a minute, but, you know, I just kept at it, and then, again, once I put together another mixtape, Ross hit me. Like, so I was like, man.
Wait a minute. You know, wait. That's what I was going to say, because I noticed you had your run in Europe. Europe came first, then Ross hit you.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm
talk
skipping.
About Europe, that's huge.
Yeah, nah, and it's crazy because, you know, again, I was only doing shows locally in New York, like at a spot called Sputnik. I don't know if you guys heard of that, but it's by Pratt University. I would do Sputnik and what, you know, SOB, just all the little spots in New York, and then I went overseas doing shows in London Jazz Cafe. You know, there was man, I forget the other spot. But, you know, just a couple venues in London. Then I was going to Paris and Belgium and Amsterdam, you know, just all over. And it just started bubbling for me. And it, like you said, it took off really in Europe faster than... faster than here, really, you know what I mean? Because I just was out there, and it's funny because back to Ross and that, like, I was the first one to be overseas. Like, they ain't never even went overseas before, and you know, I was already had my passport stamped up, you know. So it's definitely a blessing. I did some festivals too over there, and I went to Beijing and did some things over in China. Yeah.
Is it just that your booking agent was just ill? Or is it like...
I had it was me and one other person. Me and my homie Dan, and he was like managing me at the time, and literally it was just me and him. Everything. Whatever came to the emails or whatever, we was just moving, you know. And it was like, and we were getting reach, and this is back... I don't even know how the music was being heard. I mean, we was on the blogs, you know what I'm saying? So I guess it was just through the blogs and putting out videos on YouTube and stuff like that.
Now, that stuff matters, sucker. I first got put onto your music through my homegirl Dominique, who used to do those Leaders of the New Cool show.
Yeah. So you know that was one of the beginnings too. Yeah.
You know, it's like I had never heard of you, but she was like, she had all your shit, like all your videos and all your. I'm like, where did all this come from?
Yeah. Nah, we was out there. Like, trust me, and that's the thing. Like, if you go to my YouTube page, you'll see so many videos. Like, people be like, man, I ain't like we work. You know.
When you were saying okay to those dates that was overseas, did you feel like that was going to put you in a position to, like, as far as building your fan base on this side of the world, like where it was like, okay, he's international, like we ain't, you know what I'm saying, like
right, yeah, but it was always, you know, home. Like, I always wanted everything to revert back to home because, you know, again, you know, this is where we live, this is where we at, and you want the people here to appreciate the music like they do there. So it was definitely, you know, something that was the focus. But again, when you have international love and, you know, you got people over here supporting you, you got to go where the support is.
Definitely. And it's funny because, dude, had social media been as big back then as it is now, you would have looked like a triple platinum artist.
Yeah.
Like, he would have been Pitbull out here. Right, exactly. That's wild. So I mean, you mentioned the Ross thing, like how it seems like you said all the things that you went through early on made it to a point where you could appreciate things just happening for you now. So how crazy was that when Ross hit you? Because I've heard you talk about this back in the day, because like the music you were making wasn't really anything like Ross was putting out at all.
Yeah, especially because that's when Ross was, you know, BMF and you know, it was like really turning up. Yeah, so it was definitely a shock, and you know, not a shock because I'm not nice, but a shock because of the music that I do. You know, for him to look at me as somebody that could represent his brand and what they do and be a part of that was, you know, definitely a big compliment, because he saw me as, you know, not to compare, but like as a Kanye to The Rock was, or something like that, because that's how I came in, just somebody on my own wave, had my own sound, had my own fan base, doing my own shows and tours, and you know, I was doing a lot and moving around a lot, and for him to recognize it was big, and for him to believe was big, and you know, I love him today and forever for that, because again, that's the same type of confidence that most gave me. When you got somebody of that stature that you know, that looks at you and feels like, yo, you got it, you a star, you're an icon, whatever it is that they believe, and they want to help you to pursue and to accomplish those things, it's beautiful.
How was you able to manage the actual, you know, spirit of him helping as opposed to, you know, him kind of just taking over? Because, you know, a lot of times when you do get in a room with cats like that, sometimes supposed to be like, well, you're a Rick Ross. You can rap all over my shit. I'm going to start sounding like you now. Right. You know, because folks are giving Wale flack for a hot minute. Like, man, rap to the old Wale, man. You know, so it's like, how was you able to, like, you know, navigate that so that, you know, folks wouldn't be saying the same things about
man,
you?
I just had to stay, you know, deeply rooted. And, you know, I catch a lot of flack, and you go through a lot. And, you know, it kind of, I guess, it stunts your creativity sometimes, because you hear so many people telling you what you should do or what you should have did or how you should do something. And it's like, no, I know what I should be doing, and I know that what I'm doing is right. And you get that not only from, like you said, not only coming in and be like, Ross, do whatever, or I'm going to sound like y'all, I'm going to just blend in and be that chameleon, you know what I mean? It's like you get that from friends and family, and you get that from people that's close to you. You start to look at them like, dog, like, I got here for a reason. Like, why you act like you don't believe in me now? Like, you telling me to do this or rap over this or be this way. Like, no, Ross hit me because I was on some other shit. Like, you know what I mean? I wasn't doing what they was doing. So he obviously seen something cool. And then there comes that other catch, you know, 22, because then it's like, do they know how to push it? Do they know how to work it? Do they know how to, you know, take what you're doing and make it bigger without you converting into what they do or who they are, you know? So it's a you know, it's a balance that you got to figure out as an artist, but I just always stay me, you know what I mean? And like I was saying earlier, everything has always happened on time and for a reason, and it's always happened naturally. So if it doesn't, then I don't want it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to force myself to be somebody I'm not, or make something that I don't want to make and I don't feel comfortable doing just to fit in. I've never been the one to fit in. You know what I mean? I come from Massillon, Ohio. I went to Brooklyn, New York. You know what I'm saying? Like Flatbush alone, there's like one little section of Flatbush that has more people than I have in my whole, you know, city. So, you know what I mean? They 750,000 West Indians live in, you know, Brooklyn alone. You know what I mean? That's quadruple, like, you know, I mean quadruple, like the amount of people. So it's just like, at the end of the day, that's all I do is just stay me.
Speaking of that, not to move too far forward, but just to jump ahead real quick, because you said something about compromise and the Ohio LP.
Yes.
To me, you compromised just a little bit. Just the features that you chose and things like that. I want to say August Alsina's on it, Ty Dolla $ign is on there. How hard is that, without taking away from your friendship that you probably built with those guys? How hard was it for you to make that decision? Like, you know what, this is my studio album. I need to.
Yeah, it was a lot of pills swallowed. You know what I'm saying? And you know I don't regret anything, and I love that album. It's my first album, but of course, you know, I mean, to be blunt and to be real, it's like you do sacrifice and you do things for the label. Like, let's keep it real. You do things for the label. You do things. You make records because you have the faith in them that they're going to push it and they're going to do something to, you know, push your celebrity so that you can sell more records. And then when they don't, it's kind of like a jab in the gut, because it's like, man, I could have just did what I wanted to do and did, and been good, but now I'm up here bending over backwards to do what you guys are saying that you're going to help me accomplish, and then it's a partnership, and you're not, handling your side of it. Yeah, exactly. So that it was tough.
Not even a takeaway from you, because that's the thing. Like, it was like you held up your end, like you was Stalley still,
exactly,
like even with those features. But it was just like, like that's kind of, it was glaring, let me say. It didn't sound bad, but it was just like, this is definitely a difference.
And my fan, yourself and people who support me, they know. Like, my fans aren't dumb, you know what I'm saying? So they know when it's like, you a little reaching right there, you know what I'm saying? and I don't be mad at them for the critiques or for the criticism or whatever you want to say, but at the end of the day, I'm always me. I'm always lyrical. I'm always, painting a picture and giving you my life. I just try to do things the way, they always say it's a business, so you got to put that business hat on sometimes. But again, when they not holding up to their end, it gets a little shaky.
Did that translate over to the visuals at all for the album? Because I thought it was ironic that, obviously I'm from the West Coast, so I grew up on all that music, but most people don't know that, people from the West probably think Roger and Zapp is from Canton.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Ohio players, Bootsy Collins, all night. It's really that Ohio funk.
Yeah.
That Ohio funk sound that we kind of adopted and put it into hip hop. So I thought it was dope that you were using some of that, but then the visuals was straight up LA. You know what I mean? Which I was like,
exactly.
That's a little confusing.
But again, that's what, there's things that you could do differently, but it's just things you could do differently. And at the end of the day, I put a lot of time and effort into the music, and I put a lot of time and effort into doing what you just said, bringing that Ohio sound to the forefront. It's always, shout to, Dr. Dre and Snoop and E40 and everybody who's made great music sampling that Midwest funk and soul. But now we had a chance to have somebody who's originally from Ohio, who's from these roots, to really put it out there and to give life to it in a different way and visualize it to the world in a different way. And, it just, and it was there, but again, things happen.
So it's a year later, and looking back on the project, how does the project and the time it took for you to even get it out, and just the reception, you've been around the world, seen, people's views and all that. How does it sit with you now?
It's just good. It was funny because I went back to it probably like maybe 2 weeks ago when it was like the anniversary for the 1 year.
Yeah.
And I just was riding with it, sitting, listening to it. And I'm like, man, this is a great album. You know what I mean? Like, I put together a great body of work. And, and it's appreciated from my fans and around the world. And it's just a little sour feeling because you wish that more people heard it or more people, paid attention. But it just shows you got more work to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I'm never, shy to the challenge. And I can't, dwell on what happened in the past or what didn't happen. So we just keep making good music. You know what I'm saying? I put out the Laughing Introvert. That EP got a great response. You know what I mean? And it was a free project. Had, I think, over 300,000 downloads like within like the first couple weeks. And it's still, getting downloaded. The album is still getting purchased. And when I go and I perform, man, people know the music. So it's listened to, you know?
That's the thing, too, that I was going to say. Like, I became a fan when I saw you perform. This was around the time Lincoln came out.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, because, like, I think I was supposed to talk to you that night. And I was like, damn, I got to listen to this, like, for real.
Right.
Really give this, like, pay attention. And I listened to it, and I was like, all right, this cool, let's ride.
Yeah.
Then I get to see you, and I was like, his energy is so... I think you was hosting that night, Maurice. I don't know if I remember, but this was at the Loft in Midtown.
I think I was actually.
Because it was like 2012, I want to say.
Yeah, I do remember
But
that.
it was so incredible. And I'm like if y'all are listening to this and y'all haven't seen this guy perform, Like, you have to see. Because there's a reason that we saying, like, he's actually really dope.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I take pride in that in my stage show. You know, I feel like you got one chance to get up in front of people and win them over. And there's a lot of people who, there might be a fan who brought a friend that never heard of me. And you be like, man, I'm going to make this person a fan tonight. You know?
Right.
So I leave it all on, you know, and that comes from sports too. You got to leave it all out there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you might not never, I might walk off that stage and never get a chance to perform again. So at least on that last performance, I want people to know, like, he gave his all. And if you listening, if I got a show in your area, in your city, come out, because it's a good time. I like to have fun, and I like for the people who come out and support me, who spent their hard work and money, to have a good time.
No, that's real, because like I think you was here not too long ago. You was opening up for Lupe.
Yeah,
I think,
at the Tabernacle, I think it was.
No, it was at Center Stage.
Center Stage, yeah.
I remember, like, I was kind of, I was kind of ear hustling. And I remember, like, some folks sitting behind me. Like, when you was out there, one person, hey, man, Stalley, all right? And the other person was like, man, I ain't never heard of Buddy, bro. But at the show, when I was like, hey, man, this shit kind of jamming, so who is this again? All right, yeah, I gotta fuck with dude.
That's how it gotta be, you know what I mean? And it's like, and I love those times when I do get off stage and I might bump into a fan or bump into somebody backstage, and they be like, man, you killed it. Like, I ain't never, but I'm gonna go download all your stuff tonight, or I'm gonna go, you know, and that's all I want. You know, that's the biggest compliment to me. You know, if you say, yo, I'm gonna check you out, thank you.
Have you always been a car guy? Because I even peep song titles. You know, most people don't even know what a skyline is. You know what I mean? Boy, they thinking it's skyline in the city or something like that. And then, you know, obviously the glass garages thing and all of that. Have you always been in the old schools and fast cars and all that?
Yeah, since a child, you know, like since Matchbox, you know what I mean? I've always been a kid who was around cars, and you know, we was those ghetto little kids running around like, my car, that's my car. Or we knew everybody in the hood by that car, like, Marion got the 87 Cuddy, or Emmanuel got the, you know, he got the Mustang with the dub. You know, like, we was always like looking for those cars, and, you know, looking when we heard systems beating, we was waiting until they turned the corner. Like, what is that, you know? And then, you know, we had older brothers and cousins and uncles who always worked on cars. You can wake up any Saturday or any Wednesday, any day of the week almost, and you see somebody under the hood, under the car, inside the trunk, putting house speakers in there. You know, whatever. Yeah.
That was it back then.
And I huddled. You know, I'm like, what you doing over here? You know, like, I was one of those dudes, like, just like a gym rat. I was always like, so what's that? And what's the spark plug? And, you know, where the brake pad? Okay, what's that you doing? You know, how do I change the oil? You know, like, I always wanted to know. I was so fascinated by cars and what they did. And it's a peace and a serenity that comes with the cars, too. And, you know, people might say, dang, Stalley always rap about cars. But to that, niggas always rap about drugs, you know what I'm saying? Or rap about money, so why can't I rap about cars? But at the end of the day, a car is like, it's like a holy sanctuary, like, where you can just escape the world. You can escape pain. You know, even when you go through something, your mom might be like, come on, man, you had a tough day. Let's just go for a ride.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or your homies might be like, man, let's just go bend some corners and, you know, take our mind off of what's going on, play some music. And I feel like also when you are in the car and you turn on Stalley, that's the most intimate place you can be with somebody. Is when it's you, one-on-one, that music playing, and they ride and jam into you. It's like, that's the biggest compliment. You know what I mean? Real. Like, it's like, man, you won. Like, if somebody go and get some shells from the gas station, or if they going to the mall, or they going to grab their girl, but they jamming you, you won.
Definitely. Is that how you and Currency got tight over the whole car?
Yeah. That part of it, you know, but Currency just a homie, good people, real down to earth, you know what I'm saying? And when I first met him over at Dame's spot, it was just like a brother, you know what I'm saying? And then we got to knowing each other more about each other and listening to each other and talking about cars and different things like that. And that was a, you know, connection there too.
Are you going to open the shop up? Like, shout out to Musa.
Yeah, I know. Shout out Musa. I would love to. You know, that's something that I know some of my homies back home, they got their little car shops and different things like that, where I even got some of my cars at. And I would love to do that for myself, just have like a restoration spot, or, you know, even have like an old school car lot. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, where we just sell all the old schools, you know, something like that. But that's definitely a dream of mine.
Now, the cars are a serious part of your life, man. Because what you were saying earlier reminded me of something that Slim Thug said one time. He was like saying how, you know, like New York media was always trying to say he was so country and all about his cars. It was like,
I remember
he was like,
this.
well, y'all niggas just mad because y'all ain't got no cars to go and, you know, ride in. That's why y'all so damn mad.
Right.
Y'all can't jump in the car and ride around. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, and that's that, you know, and they will feel some type of, I think you will feel a lot of peace and just if you just try it, you know what I mean? I know a lot of people do, but if you just hop in the car one day and just take a ride and listen to some music, have the windows down and just enjoy, you know, and just have no destination, you know what I mean? Just hit the road.
What's your dream joint? What's the one that you don't own that you...
You know what, I want a 1981 El Camino. That's what I want. I don't have, and I want one.
My homeboy Devon in DC got the cleanest El Camino, and he cracks up all the time. He was like, if the insurance company only knew what was under this hood.
Yeah. Nah, that's real.
They bringing those back, ain't they? I saw like a picture the other day. Or was that a concept?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I hope they do.
I think they bringing them back.
That would be clean.
That would be crazy, especially
be
now with
super
the,
clean.
you know, with all the bells and whistles they got. That would be crazy. I heard they were supposed to bring back Monte Carlos too.
I hope they do, because that's my dream car, man. My pops had a 1980 Monte Carlo. It was candy red with a white rag top. I don't think he knew what he had. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
What he did? He sold it?
No, you saw, you know, he had my brother, and he was like, you know what I'm saying? Them things was like, you know, we were going to grow up eventually.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you can't ride around with 2 kids in the back seat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, definitely, man. That's just it's a beautiful thing, you know what I mean, when you can just, you know, relax and be inside of a vehicle.
Yeah.
You touched on the Laughing Introvert earlier, and the artwork has you shooting the bird. Two hands in them. I was like, yo, who are the birds directed at?
Man, it's just what we was talking about, you know, like when it came with the album, it's like it was a lot of, you know, criticism. It was a lot of and not only that, see, laughing, I'm an introvert, you know, and I admit I'm a little weird when it comes to getting around people and you know, opening up and stuff like that.
You're doing very well today.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So I'm trying to get better, but it was kind of like an inside joke, you know, like because people think that since I'm with Maybach Music and I don't flaunt my wealth or jewelry and women and things like that, that I'm not having this, I'm weak or something, like I'm whack or whatever, like, oh, he's boring. But it's like, it's kind of like, ha, laugh, the joke's on you, because I really do live a great life, you know what I mean? I take care of my family, you know, I have a nice house, I have cars, you know, I have the things that you might not think I do have, but it's just like, you don't have to be, I guess, in everybody's face, kind of like flaunting your wealth and stuff like that. So that's where it really came in, kind of like the joke's on you type of thing. And just, you know, to all the people who, I guess, thought that I wouldn't make it here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You've been working with Ross for a few years now, and recently you've been talking about Blue Collar Gang for a minute.
Right.
But recently you announced that, you know, it would be a label.
Yes.
Still waiting for the clothing line.
Yeah, it's coming.
For the clothing line. So talk a little bit about Blue Collar Gang and what it's all about, and, you know, who you have in the fold right now.
Yeah. Excuse me, Blue Collar Gang. Shout out Blue Collar Gang, all the supporters and people who represent out there listening. But Blue Collar Gang is, you know, it's where I'm from. It's the roots, you know what I mean? Again, it goes back to Massillon, Ohio, 32,000 people. Everybody that I know and most of my family members worked on railroads and steel mills and factories of some sort. And it's just like when I grew up, you know, everybody wore Dickies and shell-toe boots. And that's how you came home. You came home hands dirty, tired, kick your feet up, crack open a Budweiser, you know what I mean, and relax. So it's really for those people, those everyday hard-working 9-to-5ers. It's also for the college kids that want to become, you know, a lot of them are the first ones to graduate in their family from college, go to even go to college, you know. And it's also for the people who get overlooked and who are underrated and looked over because they come from areas like Massillon. You know what I mean? It's like, nobody's searching for talent in those places. And I just want to bring light to those people. So I have artists like my dude, King Veda. You know, he's from Columbus. I got my dude, Slim. He's from Atlanta, actually, STS.
Sugartone Slim?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So, I got my dude, Black Diamond, you know, from Maryland, like D.C. area. Who else we got, man? We got my dude, Kloppy from Brooklyn. You know, and a few others, and we're working on it and just trying to build it. And when I unveil it and I release it, I want to make sure it's right. And same with the clothing line. I know a lot of people been sorry, y'all. I know y'all been asking for the hats and for the clothes.
The hat is clean.
Yeah, thank you. You know, a lot of people been asking, but I just want to make sure that when I do it, it's right and the quality is, you know, how I want it to be. I don't want to give you guys nothing less than, you know, top notch. You know, quality.
You don't want to get them Snoop Dogg clothing.
Don't do that. Yeah. Snoop Dogg clothing was like,
why
you had a sweater.
I did not. Sorry. I did not.
You always throwing shots at the bootleg rapper clothing line.
Shout out Snoop, man. But you know, I just want to make sure everything is right. And like I said, you know, the blue collar gang is for everybody. You know, it's you guys. It's, you know, anybody who supports me and anybody who's like-minded and feels like, you know, they got something to prove, you know what I mean? And I just want to be the voice for those who get overlooked, you know what I mean? A lot of people say I'm underrated, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people say I'm underrated and more people should know about me and hear me, and I just want us to all band together as brothers, as a family, and just make sure that we are heard. You know, instead of saying that I'm underrated, let's make sure that I'm rated. You know what I mean? Let's make sure that I'm the topic of discussion, because there's a lot of great music and great artists out here that get overlooked, and we need to figure out a way how we can, you know, be in the same light as those that's mentioned, you know, on the day-to-day.
I'm glad you said that, because I want to ask you, man, and this is something I just noticed. Do you have any feelings towards, you know, never being on that XXL freshman cover thing, man?
Of course. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be real. Like, that is some bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I done put in a lot of work and a lot of grind, and there's a lot of artists on there that it's like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So,
yo, I truly felt like you was on there. Like, he hit us early and was like, yo, was he on there? And I was like, I feel like he was.
Another dude with a beard, man.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody, and people are going to be listening to this right now like, damn, Stalley never, it's like, I don't know, you know what Double XL is on. I ain't never been on the cover of a magazine, period, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, but, that's wild. You came right after, because I worked at Double XL for a few years. You came right after those crew covers that we would always do.
Oh, yeah, that too. I came right after that, So, but it's, you know, it's motivation, and it's, you know, I inspire the, you know, and it's cool because at the end of the day, I should be on the cover alone. You know what I mean? So we going to make sure that happens.
Most definitely. How are we going to get your brothers, man, to stop talking and bittering on Twitter, man?
Oh, man, I wish I knew. I wish I knew.
And it's funny because I was listening to an older interview, and I'm like, damn. They was interviewing him a year ago, asking the same question, and it's happened again. Like, ain't nobody learned nothing.
It's like clockwork. It's like a seasonal type of thing.
Right. It seems
but you seem to keep yourself out.
Oh yeah, I'm
distinctly.
Away from
like, you are good.
I'm like, nah, don't come at me with that, man. I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? It's funny too what they be beefing over and stuff like that. I don't know. Like, I really don't know what the real root of it is, but I'm watching like you guys are watching. So what I see is just like, come on, man, we can get past that. Like, it ain't that serious. But I'm sure, you know, it will get resolved. If it doesn't, you know, I'm sure they both successful dudes, and I feel like they'll continue to be that. But there's no need to really do that internally, you know what I'm saying? Just keep it moving. Like, you know, I didn't play sports or been on teams and then, you know, the situations with people that I had to work with that I might have not liked, but it doesn't result to us arguing or fighting or anything.
At least not publicly.
Yeah, or definitely not publicly. So, I mean, you know, hopefully they'll be all right. Shout out to them.
So are you working on your sophomore album yet?
Yeah, I've been working, man. Like I got so much. I'm a little bit of everywhere. You know, I'm working on the album, working on, you know, EPs, mixtape. You know, just working and putting things in different spots. You know, like this for the album, this is for this is for that. You know, just doing it like that. But I'm in a great zone, the best zone that I've been in a while. You know, musically, I feel good. I feel inspired and just hungry again and not, you know, fazed by what's going on, you know, in the industry. Like, again, like what we just talking about, I stay out of that, stay out of the controversy, stay out of the he say, she say, don't really pay attention to what people have to say, you know what I mean? I just want to focus on my fans and the people who support me and who have, you know, positive energy, and I just want to give that back with, you know, great music.
It's like, talk to us on, like, how are you able to, I guess, graduate or survive, maybe the word, from like that internet blog era? Cause for a minute it seemed like, you know, that was a whole genre of itself. Like, oh, you know, you got street rappers, you got club rappers, and you got internet blog rappers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah, I just, you know, it was something that I had to fight out of too, because I came in that era of when the blogs was everything, for real, you know what I mean? Shout out to Nah Right and Two Dope Boys and On Smash and all those people who did support from early on, you know what I mean? Smoking Section, hip hop, you know, everybody, all hip hop DX, everybody, but you know, just keep on working and becoming that household name, you know, and that's what you really have to do, is just because you can get boxed in to those things: street rapper, blog rapper, alternative rapper, weirdo rapper. I don't know, you know, there's so many names for different things, but I just try to keep working and stay consistent.
Like, how do you do that? I know it's a broad question, because like I was just thinking, like, when you're in here saying, "What, I'm going to do this song for over here, this song for over there," it's like, and I'm trying to think of some like my favorite rappers who were coming out with songs, with albums like every 2 years. I'm like, I know they weren't rapping this goddamn much. You know what I'm saying? But it's like now, it's like you got to have your album, your EP, your mixtape. You know what I'm saying? You got to record your freestyle for video on YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's sad because, you know, we talk about that now, you know, amongst, you know, me and my friends and family and, you know, just my crew. It's like you got to really get a balance, because everything lives and dies in the same day. You know what I mean? Like, something is hot right now, and then tomorrow they ain't talking about it.
If you own for 72 hours now, you did
something. Boy, if they still talking about you, for 2-3 days, oh God, you done won. Like, you done hit the lotto for real. So it you know, you lucky if you get 5 hours. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, something's gonna happen. So, man, I you know, you just got to, I guess it's all about adjusting to the time, you know what I mean, and adjusting what's going on, but still keeping it quality. You know me, I'm not going to put out music or just do it just to stay relevant or to stay in people's faces if the music isn't good. And I feel like a lot of artists do that, and I feel like that's why a lot of the music isn't as good as it used to be, because people used to take their time, you know what I mean? They really used to take their time with their craft, but now it's like, let's just make music, let's just put it out. Yeah, everybody's in a rush, you know? I mean, if it went from 140 characters to 15-second IGs to 6-second Vine to 3-second Snapchat, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's getting faster and faster. It's like, and that's how people moving when it comes to music. It's like quick, put it out, and it's like,
you are absolutely right. So before we go, you know, I gotta ask you, Ball, what's your Cavs chances this year? What you think about the team?
Man, if we stay healthy, we gonna win it all, man.
Y'all pretty deep.
Yeah, I feel like if we stay healthy, we'll win it all. But we just got to figure out a way to stay healthy. But it's gonna be tough.
Kyrie is never gonna be healthy. I think he's proven that.
Well, the engineer's shaking his head too.
I know. Don't say that though. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's just definitely got to come back and. When he can, I think that we deep enough now that we can kind of let him rest a little bit before we really needed him, and but right now Mo Williams is, you know, he's A1, and then, you know, Deli come off the bench still,
the Curry stopper.
Yeah, that's what I tell. But I tell people that all the time. He the only one that really did guard Curry, because, you know, with Curry you got to be physical with him.
Oh yeah,
because he's soft, definitely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
He got that light skin. He got that light skin.
It's funny. One of my good friends, Rennie, from San Francisco, one of my dogs, before the playoff run, he was like, man, we just got too many light-skinned ball players. He was like, these dudes don't know how to win a ring. So now I talked to him. I was like, they still too soft. He was like, nah, they won it. I got to give it to them.
Nah, they definitely, they do their thing.
I need one thing, you being from Ohio, I need you, for all of us, I'm getting older. I need to know what Richard Jefferson is on or what he's using. Because when he was a Warrior, he was terrible. He lost at least 6 games by himself for us. He went to Utah, started dunking on people. Now he's in Cleveland, and he looked like Richard Jefferson when he played for the Nets with Jason Kidd.
Yeah. Man, I agree, and he got that fountain of youth, I guess.
I need to know what it is.
Me too, I do, but I think it's Bron. You know what I mean? People get excited to play with Bron. You know what I mean? And Bron makes it exciting. I mean, he makes it fun to play again, and I think that they really have a fun atmosphere over there from practices to the games. You know what I mean? They have a good time. They know that Bron gonna share the ball. They know he ain't really gonna get on them too much, and I really think that's it. But I hope he just keeps it up, because he is a little old.
Hey, man, he looked good last. Nobody watches the Jazz play, but he looked good last year.
Yeah, no, he did.
For real.
Yeah, he did. And where was he at, too? Dallas or somewhere like that?
He was everywhere. He was in Dallas.
I think
played
because he was decent
over.
then, too. Yeah, so, nah, man, I just, I hope we got a good team, but it's just about the health.
Yeah, most definitely.
And it's going to be hard because y'all tough out west. I mean,
nobody's beating the Warriors 7 games. I was just entertaining it. Yeah. Nobody's beating the Warriors. But you got because we'll be back in the finals against y'all.
I don't know.
So we're going to have to chop it up.
Y'all just going to act like, there wasn't a 60-win team here last year that was
we beat y'all by 20 without Klay Thompson, bro. Come on.
I don't know what that Stalley is doing with his hands.
Is he talking about the sweep?
The sweep thing.
The sweep.
We got them boys up out of here.
You're probably the only second or third legit Cavs fan I know, so we'll have to figure something out when we get to the finals.
Let's do it. I'll come back up here and we'll talk, man.
We'll chop it up.
You know what them Cavs gonna do?
Yeah, I don't see nobody beating the Cavs.
36, 8, and 9.
Yeah, I don't see
LeBron.
Yeah, I don't see nobody beating the Cavs in the East.
LeBron. See, I'm gonna tell you why. I know we got to go, but I'm gonna tell you why y'all sorry for real. Let me tell y'all why y'all sorry for real.
Cut his mic
because we beat y'all 2 games with nobody. Do you understand that? Y'all should have swept us with the team that we had. We should have been swept. We won 2 games.
You're absolutely right, and you know why I actually
2 games and was in most of the other ones.
I got blew out. But
one
anyway,
game, yeah, we did one game, but most of the other ones we was.
I was talking. This is the problem. They're a young team, very young team. If you look at it, none of those dudes ever won anything in college.
Neither did our
that
team.
Are on it. Let me finish that. But dude, LeBron is won and lost more.
LeBron, you keep saying that he's not that guy.
But you got to think, if your best player is the best player in the world, he's been to the finals 5 times at that point. The only person in the building on our side that had been to the finals is Steve Kerr. So that's the difference. You got to learn how to put your foot on somebody's neck, and they did that, and they adjusted quick. Most teams that are young that have never won, it takes them a year to adjust. This team adjusted throughout the season because they went through the battle with Memphis. They got against y'all. I mean, Kyrie he's fragile. It is what it is. And y'all was getting your ass beaten overtime before he got hurt anyway.
No,
yes, you were. Y'all didn't score
until
the last 7 seconds.
Kyrie got hurt.
Y'all were already losing in
overtime.
overtime.
But Kyrie was already out.
No, y'all were losing in overtime.
In overtime.
He went out in overtime.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that.
Yeah, but it's all good. We'll be here all night talking about
it's
the
all
Warriors.
good. We still won 2 games in shit. Let's talk about that.
Yes, let's start the chant. We're number 2. We're number 2. Anyway, thank you for y'all for tuning in. This was a great interview, bro. Thank you for coming through,
appreciate y'all for having me.
Make sure y'all go and download the Laughing Introvert. Please. Make sure y'all look out for the clothing line that will be here sooner than later.
And I'm gonna gift all y'all. Trust me.
Hey man, I appreciate it because I do want to have. Even though it say 330 on the side, I'm a represent.
Well, Curry from 330 too,
exactly.
Man. You know that he was born in Akron, baby.
We have a debate.
The bloodline.
Maybe Del Curry was creeping.
Nah, he was
at some
in
point.
Cleveland.
No, what I'm saying is because LeBron and Curry born at the same hospital. Come on, man. That's too much talent for one play. Well, yo, thank you guys so much for tuning in. You're listening to Day One Radio, ABLradio.com. Oh, and thank you to everybody that came out last week when we did our second anniversary party at Spin. Shout out to Sean Fallion, DiBiase,
DJ Black Boy.
DJ Black Boy. He was killing it. He was playing all kind of West Coast stuff. I apologize to the people who came and left before I made it out there. But we really appreciate y'all coming, appreciate y'all listening, and we'll see y'all next week.
WABL, New Rules, New Radio. DJ Wally Sparks.
Got back in the car and rolled me a joint, man.
Correct. Fresh joint, fired a Zippo. Took one long inhale, then cracked my window. Cranking that hard knock intro. I was dreaming like Bleak for that new Porsche Turbo. Shit, I'm trying to come up on y'all. Get one up on y'all. And when y'all run up, best believe I'm gon' draw. I'll die about mines, don't let disrespect be your cause. From the bottom of my claw to 100K in my draw. Covered by stand socks, Jubilee band watch, stunting cause I can't stop. Doing niggas dirty like I was playing in a sandbox. Pop knot, swing Dayton's out the chop shop. Drop top, 2 girls with me, 1 brunette, 1 got a blonde top. I'm beating up the block like a Midwest gangster. Chucking deuces to them haters, saluting my foes, twisting fingers. Thug niggas to the ankles, telling friends sim. Won't change for no paper, this the culture that I came with.
Eastside skyline, gold on piece and chrome on wheels. Poppers on my dick cause a nigga so trip real. Smoking trees, grabbing pine. Eastside skyline, pulling up on nigga with my hand on my arm. Sliding through the city, candy.
I took some time off just to see the world. Island hopping in my Jordan 4s, box logo tee, Bermuda shorts, clean resorts full of tan women. Cooler filled, cold bottles in them, stretched out like the 7th inning. My 7th heaven is some miles away, but I'll just sit here, American dream in this beach chair today. Leave my troubles in the past years and try and stay humble when the clouds clear. Cause nobody was around here when everybody doubted cheer. Now it's open letters and gift mail, kind words from strangers that don't sit well. And every chick I meet is out to get mail. I feel safe on this island. All my thoughts are locked away safe on this island. A treasure full of diamonds, gems for the rhyming. I drop them every now and then, black and mild smoke through the wind. Ashes on the pages of my journal made from snakeskin. Staring in the ocean where the greats swim. I'm thinking about jumping in. Came a long way from jumping 10. Switches on the Impala. Tires so skinny I was bouncing on rims.
Popping my collar.
Listening to Pen, UGK-ish. I was underground then, still underground now. Difference is I'm under palm trees, not trying to be found.
DJ Wally Sparks.
WABL. New rules, new music. Download the app or stream on ABLradio.com.
digital dash, bucket seats, pipes hanging off the ash, truck going gorilla, the whole box frame rattling glass, 5 MPH down the Ave, door swinging, eyes hanging off the paint job, sunlight flickering, stars give the same mirage, bending corners hard, showing off, foot hanging through the door, 500 horses stomping, got the whole hood banging, bet they hear me out in Compton, right here from Harsh Ave, where it all started at, monster truck extended cab, 73 Caprice chopping, niggas lose their mind when they see the slab, boppers love to hear it slap, TVs in the front and back, pulling off Tindy, that's how we be rolling out, showing out, 15s, 18s we be blowing out, volume to the max, never ever holding back, weak niggas think they doing something until I pull up and trail them down.
In your lane with my bag, with this banging in the back, turn it up, make it slide. Make it slide. Turn it up, make it slide. Make it slide. Turn it up, make it slide. I'm in your lane with my Chevy bass banging so heavy, hope that whole hood heavy. Make it slide.
DJ Wale Sparks.
Climb on in, let's ride. Gonna show you what it really look like. High up in the sky. Like overpasses. Pulling in the intersection. A whole new meaning to the words moon, roof. Outer space, baby. I don't think you would ever get this high in a vehicle, ever again. I'ma show you how to twerk the wheel. I'ma show you how to twerk the wheel. Chrome on the feet, chrome pipes, chrome grill. Swing, cock the wheel, hope my drink don't spill. Damn, I'ma show you how to twerk the wheel. I'ma show you how to twerk the wheel. Chrome on the I'ma show you how to twerk the wheel. I'ma show you how to twerk the wheel. Chrome on the feet, chrome pipes, chrome grill. Swing, cock the wheel, hope my drink don't spill. Damn.
I'ma show you how to twerk the wheel. 2 fingers bending corners, the block stand still. Cops on my heels, but I'm beating down still. Chrome on my left for these jackets out to kill. Feet size Shaquille. It's magic how the paint pop the grill. Pop the clutch and squeal. Blades chop like Kill Bill.
I'ma show you how to twerk the wheel. I'ma show you how to twerk the wheel. Chrome on the feet, chrome pipes, chrome grill. Swing, cock the wheel, hope my drink don't spill. Damn.
Grab my shells and roll up, triple stack my cups up. Jolly Ranchers and Xanax, my special potion cola. My sheets feel like sofas, cup in my hand, no coasters. This drink don't spill, I'm focused. I sip, I bend, I smoke up, all in one motion. Doing 60, I'm floating. Elbow out the window, I'm gloating. Riding in slow motion, my new car look like my old one. I know.
WABL. New rules, new music. Download the app or stream on ablradio.com.
DJ Wale Sparks.